Arctic Research Station, Alpha 7, Northern Canada. 2157. The story opens with Dr. Emma Torres, a human archaeologist, leading a small research team through the frozen wasteland. Her team includes Marcus Webb, a geologist, and 2 technicians, Jake and Lisa. They're investigating unusual energy readings detected by orbital satellites beneath the ice sheet. The team uses thermal drills to penetrate the ice. At 200 meters down, their equipment starts malfunctioning. Electromagnetic interference grows stronger as they dig deeper. Marcus notices the ice formation is unnatural, too perfect. 2 geometric dots at 400 meters. They break through into a massive cavern. Their lights reveal something impossible, a colossal metallic structure, clearly artificial, embedded in the ice. The ship is enormous, over 2 kilometers long, with angular designs unlike any human technology. Emma's team sets up camp in the cavern. As they examine the hull, they find strange symbols etched into the metal. The ship appears ancient, covered in millennia of ice, yet the metal shows no signs of corrosion. Jake's scanner detects the hull is made of materials not found in human. Periodic tables, strange things begin happening. Equipment turns on by itself. Their radio communications become garbled with unknown signals. Lisa reports seeing lights moving inside the ship through what appear to be windows or viewports. The team finds an opening in the hull, a massive gash that looks like battle damage. Against protocol, Emma decides to explore inside. The interior is vast, with corridors tall enough for beings much larger than humans. The walls are covered in more alien symbols, and strange blue lights begin flickering as they walk deeper. In the ship's center, they discover a massive chamber filled with dozens of crystalline pods. Most are dark and empty, but one still glows with inner light. Through the transparent surface, they can see a humanoid figure, tall, muscular, with pale skin and strange markings. As Emma approaches the pod, her presence triggers something. The ship's systems begin awakening. Lights flicker on throughout the vessel. Deep rumbling sounds echo through the corridors. The ice around the ship starts cracking. The figure in the pod opens its eyes. Key elements established. Human team discovers. Ancient alien warship ship is clearly built for war, battle damage. Massive size. Technology far beyond human capability. One survivor remains in stasis ship, begins reacting to human presence. Foreshadowing of the ship's true purpose and power. The being in the pod is Captain Thane of the Vanguard fleet. He awakens. After 12,000 years in stasis, confused and disoriented, the humans try to communicate, but Thane speaks an unknown language. However, the ship's AI, called the Voice, begins translating. Through broken communication, Emma learns that Thane is the last survivor of his species' greatest warship, the Eternal Vigil. His people, the Ancients, fought a devastating war against an enemy called the Devourers, a race of machines that consumed entire worlds, turning planets into lifeless husks. The war lasted centuries. The Ancients were losing. As a final desperate measure, they sent their most powerful warships to the edges of the galaxy, hoping to find new allies or weapons. The Eternal Vigil was damaged in the final battle and crash-landed on Earth during humanity's Ice Age. Thane set the ship to sleep mode and entered stasis, waiting for the planet's dominant species to evolve enough to wake him. The ship's sensors have been monitoring human development for millennia, waiting for the right moment. But there's a problem. The Voice informs Thane that long-range sensors have detected familiar energy signatures approaching the solar system. The Devourers have found Earth. They're still out there, still consuming worlds, and they're coming. Thane examines the humans with growing interest. Despite being physically smaller and technologically primitive, he senses something different about them. The Voice shows him recordings of human history, Wars, exploration, survival against impossible odds. Thane is particularly fascinated by human persistence and adaptability. However, Earth's current military technology is laughably inadequate against the Devourers. Human weapons would be like throwing stones at a mountain. The Eternal Vigil is powerful, but it's just one ship against an entire fleet. Thane makes a decision that surprises everyone. He wants to test humanity's potential. He believes humans might possess something his people lacked, the ability to adapt and innovate under extreme pressure. The ship begins emerging from the ice, causing massive earthquakes across the Arctic. World governments detect the activity and scramble military forces. News of the alien ship spreads globally, causing panic and excitement. Emma becomes the liaison between Thane and humanity. She convinces world leaders to meet with the alien captain. The meeting takes place aboard the Eternal Vigil, now floating above the Arctic Ocean. Thane addresses the assembled leaders through the Voice's translation. He explains the threat coming to Earth and offers humanity a choice. They can try to hide and hope the Devourers pass by, or they can fight. If they choose to fight, he'll share ancient technology and tactical knowledge. The leaders are divided. Some want to negotiate with the Devourers. Others want to study the alien technology for their own purposes. But a few understand the gravity of the situation. The part ends with long-range sensors detecting the Devourer fleet entering the outer solar system. They have 6 months before the enemy arrives. Thane gives humanity an ultimatum: unite and prepare for war, or face extinction alone. Key elements established: Thane's background and the ancient Devourer War. The true threat approaching Earth humanity's potential, recognized by an advanced alien. Political divisions among human leaders. Time pressure: 6 months to prepare the choice between hiding and fighting. The world changes overnight. The revelation of an approaching alien invasion force unites humanity in a way nothing else could. Old enemies become allies. Resources are pooled. The greatest minds on Earth work together with ancient technology. Thane establishes a training facility inside the Eternal Vigil. He selects humans from various military backgrounds to learn ancient combat techniques and technology. Among them is Commander Alex Rivera, a former fighter pilot who shows exceptional aptitude for ancient systems. The ship's manufacturing systems begin producing hybrid human-ancient weapons and armor. Human engineers work alongside the Voice to understand the technology. They discover that ancient tech responds to mental commands and emotional states, something that fascinates Thane about human psychology. Dr. Torres leads a team studying ancient history and culture. They learn that the ancients were a proud, rigid species who followed traditional warfare tactics. The Devourers adapted to their predictable strategies, eventually overwhelming them through superior numbers and relentless advancement. Meanwhile, Earth's military forces undergo radical transformation. The Eternal Vigil shares energy shield technology, allowing human ships to survive Devourer attacks. Plasma weapons are integrated into human fighter craft. Most importantly, the ships. AI teaches human commanders about Devourer tactics and weaknesses, but the Devourers aren't idle. Their scout ships begin probing the outer solar system, destroying human research stations and mining operations. Each attack reveals more about the enemy's capabilities. They're not just machines, they're adaptive, learning from each encounter. Thane grows impressed with human innovation. Where his people would have built larger versions of existing weapons, humans find creative solutions. They develop guerrilla tactics, use Earth's environment as a weapon, and create asymmetric warfare strategies the ancients never considered. The hybrid human-ancient forces conduct their first test, battle against Devourer scouts near Jupiter. The engagement is brutal, but successful. Human pilots, wearing ancient neural interfaces, coordinate with impossible precision. They destroy 3 Devourer ships, while losing only one fighter. However, the victory comes at a cost. The Devourers now know Earth is defended and will come in full force. Intelligence gathered from the battle reveals the main fleet's composition: hundreds of capital ships, thousands of fighters, and planet-killer weapons that can crack worlds in half. Thane makes a difficult decision. The Eternal Vigil alone cannot defeat such a force, even with human allies. He activates an ancient protocol he hoped never to use. The ship begins converting Earth's moon into a massive weapons platform. The process is dangerous and controversial. Some human leaders object to altering the moon, fearing unknown consequences. But Thane explains that without this weapon, Earth has no chance of survival. As the moon's transformation begins, strange things happen on Earth. Tides change dramatically. Ancient structures buried across the planet begin activating, revealing that the ancients had visited Earth multiple times throughout history. These discoveries suggest humanity's development wasn't entirely natural. Asterisk. Emma uncovers evidence that the ancients had been subtly guiding human evolution for millennia, hoping to create a species that could succeed where they failed. Humanity's aggression, adaptability, and innovation were encouraged through careful intervention. This revelation divides the human leadership. Some feel manipulated and betrayed. Others see it as proof that humanity was meant for this fight. The debate threatens to fracture the alliance, just as the main Devourer fleet approaches. Thane addresses these concerns directly. He admits his people's interference, but argues that humanity's response to the crisis proves their worthiness. No other species had adapted so quickly to ancient technology or developed such innovative tactics. The part ends with the Devourer main fleet arriving at the edge of the solar system. Their numbers are staggering, even more than intelligence predicted. The modified moon weapon is only half complete. Earth's defenses are untested against such overwhelming force, but humanity has one advantage the ancients never possessed: the ability to fight unconventionally. As the enemy approaches, human forces prepare for the greatest battle in galactic history. Asterisk. The Devourer fleet darkens the sky as it approaches Earth. Massive ships, each one dwarfing human vessels, move in perfect formation. Their hulls are black metal that seems to absorb light itself. Energy weapons charge along their surfaces, ready to reduce Earth to molten slag. Thane takes command of the combined human ancient fleet from the Eternal Vigil. Commander Rivera leads the human fighter squadrons, their ships now enhanced with ancient shields and plasma weapons. The partially complete moon weapon, designated Luna Base, serves as their primary defensive platform. The battle begins in Earth's outer atmosphere. Human fighters, smaller and more agile than anything the Devourers have faced, use hit-and-run tactics. They strike at the massive ships, weapon systems, and retreat before the enemy can respond effectively. But the Devourers adapt quickly. They deploy smaller hunter-killer drones that match human fighter speed. The space around Earth becomes a chaotic battlefield of energy beams, explosions, and desperate maneuvers. Luna Base fires its first shot, a concentrated beam that cuts through 3 Devourer capital ships. The weapon's power is devastating, but it needs time to recharge between shots. The Devourers focus their attack on the moon, sending waves of ships to destroy the installation. Human ground forces, equipped with ancient power armor, defend Luna Base's surface facilities. The fighting is brutal and close quarters. Devourer soldiers are revealed to be cybernetic beings, organic minds trapped in mechanical bodies, driven by programming that demands total consumption of resources. Emma, now wearing a modified ancient neural interface, coordinates the defense from Luna Base's command center. She discovers that the Devourer's central weakness is their hive mind communication system. If they can disrupt it, the entire fleet becomes vulnerable. Thane makes a desperate decision. He pilots the Eternal Vigil directly into the heart of the Devourer fleet, drawing their fire while human forces implement Emma's plan. The ancient warship's shields hold against impossible odds, but the hull takes massive damage. Commander Rivera leads a strike team into the Devourer flagship. Their mission: plant a virus developed from ancient code into the enemy's central computer. The virus will spread through their network, disrupting their coordination. The infiltration is successful, but at great cost. Half of Rivera's team doesn't make it out. As they escape, the virus begins working. Devourer ships start firing on each other, their targeting systems confused by corrupted data. But the Devourers have a final gambit. Their flagship, damaged but still operational, begins charging a planet-killer weapon. One shot will crack Earth's core and end all life on the planet. Thane, his ship critically damaged, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He rams the Eternal Vigil into the Devourer flagship just as their weapon fires. The collision creates a massive explosion that consumes both ships and deflects the planet killer. Beam into space. With their command ship destroyed and their network compromised, the remaining Devourer forces fall into disarray. Human fighters, now coordinating perfectly through ancient neural links, systematically destroy the confused enemy ships. The battle lasts 18 hours. When it ends, Earth's skies are filled with debris from hundreds of destroyed ships. The Devourer fleet is annihilated, but the cost is enormous. Millions of humans are dead, and entire cities are damaged from falling debris. Luna Base is heavily damaged but intact. The moon weapon proved decisive, destroying nearly a third of the enemy fleet. However, without Thane's sacrifice, the planet-killer beam would have ended everything. In the aftermath, Emma searches through the wreckage of the Eternal Vigil. The ship's AI, the voice, survives in backup systems. It tells her that Thane's final message was one of hope. Humanity had proven themselves worthy successors to the ancients. The surviving Devourer technology is studied and destroyed. Some human leaders want to reverse engineer their weapons, but Emma argues that becoming like the Devourers would dishonor Thane's sacrifice. The part ends with humanity beginning to rebuild. The ancient technology remains, but now it's truly humanity's to use. The neural interfaces allow perfect coordination between human minds. The energy weapons provide clean power for Earth's cities, but questions remain. Were the Devourers the only threat in the galaxy? Are there other species out there, waiting to be discovered? And what will humanity do with their new power? *6. Months after the battle, Earth has transformed into something unprecedented. The integration of ancient technology has ushered in a new era of human civilization. Cities are rebuilt with energy shields and clean fusion power. The neural interface technology allows instant communication across the planet, creating a level of global cooperation never before seen. Emma, now serving as director of Xenarchaeology, leads expeditions to explore ancient ruins across the galaxy. Using modified Devourer ships, carefully stripped of their aggressive programming, human explorers venture into deep space. They discover dozens of dead worlds, remnants of the ancient Devourer war. On one such world, they find ancient archives containing the complete history of the Galactic War. The ancients had been guardians of the galaxy for millions of years, protecting younger species from cosmic threats. The Devourers were their ultimate failure, a created species that turned against its makers. The archives reveal that the ancients had seeded many worlds with potential successor species. Humanity was just one of several experiments. Most failed, destroyed by their own aggression or conquered by other threats. Humanity succeeded because they found the balance between innovation and cooperation that the ancients had lost. Commander Rivera, now Admiral of the Human Defense Fleet, establishes patrol routes throughout the solar system. The hybrid human ancient. Ships serve as guardians, protecting Earth from potential future threats. But their mission expands when they encounter the Keth, a peaceful species from the Proxima Centauri system. The Keth had been hiding from the Devourers for centuries, their civilization reduced to underground cities and camouflaged ships. When they detect the Devourer fleet's destruction, they cautiously make contact with humanity. They're amazed to find that humans not only defeated the Devourers, but did so while preserving their compassion and creativity. First contact protocols, developed from ancient diplomatic archives, ensure peaceful relations. The Keth share their knowledge of other hidden civilizations throughout the galaxy. Many species had gone into hiding during the Devourer expansion, waiting for the threat to pass. Emma's exploration teams make contact with the Verdani, a plant-based species that had hidden in asteroid fields for millennia. They encounter the Crystalline Collective, beings of living mineral who had sealed themselves in frozen moons. Each species has unique knowledge and abilities that could benefit galactic civilization. But with great power comes great responsibility. Some human factions want to use their advanced technology to conquer and dominate these species. The debate echoes the ancient archives. Will humanity repeat their predecessors' mistakes, or will they forge a better path? The Voice, now integrated into Earth's global network, serves as advisor and conscience. It reminds humanity that the ancients' greatest failure was believing they knew what was best for other species. True guardianship means protecting others' right to choose their own destiny. A new organization is formed, the Galactic Restoration Council. Humanity takes the lead, but all species have equal representation. Their mission is to rebuild galactic civilization while preventing the rise of new threats like the Devourers. The Council's first major project is the restoration of Kepler 442b, a world devastated by the Devourers centuries ago. Using ancient terraforming technology and Verdani biological expertise, they begin the slow process of bringing dead worlds back to life. Emma discovers that Thane had left one final gift in the Eternal Vigil's archives, star charts showing the locations of other ancient outposts throughout the galaxy. Some contain sleeping warriors like him, others house powerful technologies or knowledge archives. As human exploration ships reach these outposts, they awaken more ancient survivors. Each one is amazed by humanity's achievement. None of their species had ever successfully integrated ancient technology while maintaining their essential nature. Story concludes with a ceremony on the anniversary of the battle. A monument is erected where the Eternal Vigil fell, honoring Thane's sacrifice. But the real memorial is the thriving galactic civilization that emerged from humanity's victory. Earth has become the heart of a new galactic community. The old cycle of war and destruction has been broken. Species that had hidden in fear for millennia now work together to explore, create, and protect life throughout the galaxy. In the final scene, Emma stands on Luna Base, now converted into a research station and memorial. She watches as human and alien ships depart for distant worlds, carrying hope instead of conquest. The Voice speaks to her one last time, expressing Thane's spirit. You have become what we could never be. Guardians who guard without controlling, protectors who protect without dominating. Humanity has inherited the galaxy not through conquest, but through proving themselves worthy of the trust placed in them. They are the bridge between the ancient past and the infinite future, ensuring that no species will ever again face extinction alone. Asterisk.